Great to have Ann Byrn back in our kitchen again. She is the best-selling author of the Cake Mix Doctor series. More recently, Ann's popular cookbook American Cake and now the brand new American Cookie are serving up bites of history with every delicious recipe. This one reads like a novel almost. I love the stories, and of course the recipes are fantastic too.
Exactly. Who thought that you know, cookies that we love or our grandmother baked had a really rich story behind it.
And the one that we're going to do today has a really cool story.
Yes, this is a refrigerator lace cookie, and the secret ingredient is oatmeal. Oats, which are used in a lot of old recipes because they were cheap, affordable, and people used them, put them in everything. So we're going to start with just a stick of butter that's soft, and we're making this by hand so people can see that you don't have to have a fancy KitchenAid to make cookies. And that's just granulated sugar and brown sugar combined. Yep. And then once you get that kind of creamed, then we're going to put in an egg and a little bit of vanilla. And I'll help you there if you need to.
You want to? Maybe you're better at it than I am.
Oh, that's all right.
There we go.
I'm fearless when it comes to this sort of thing. But yeah, cookies are so forgiving, and that's what I learned writing this book, Meryl, that you know, cakes are specific and very structured, and you know, you don't want to mess up this or that because it's not going to rise, it's not going to turn out. But cookies are so forgiving, and I think because of that, that's why they have been made in America so long and loved by children and passed down.
Tell me about this particular cookie, because this story is amazing.
It's great. This is a recipe from The Joy of Cooking, which was written in 1931, the first edition by Irma Rombauer. And Irma Rombauer is from St. Louis, and I just added some lemon zest, and now I'm going to add oats. She was a widow, and she wrote The Joy of Cooking to make money. She invested half of the savings that she had, and she printed family recipes, and she called it The Joy of Cooking.
Wow.
So it's fascinating. And this was a very typical recipe of the 1930s when she first wrote, because people used what they had, and a little bit of flour. Actually, we have more oats than flour. A little bit of baking soda is in there, and a little bit of salt. And so then this was a what they called an icebox cookie.
I think those are so easy too, because once you get them, you know, kind of solidified, you can just slice as many as you want and bake them.
Definitely. I mean, they were the original slice and bake.
Yeah.
And what I love is that the cookies of the 30s, like this one, are very applicable today. I mean, we could completely make this dough. We've made it in a couple of minutes here. And then this goes on a sheet of wax paper. You roll it out, and then what you have is, you know, a long roll of dough that goes in your fridge. Overnight, a couple of hours. You come back the next day and you slice it thinly and bake them at 400. So they're real crispy and see-through-y.
Yeah, and they're not meant to be thick cookies. They're very thin, like these, and like the stacks over there. I can't wait to try these. They look delicious. And this one, you say, is called the Forgotten Cookie?
It is. It's called a chocolate forgotten cookie. It came out of Savannah. This is a Savannah, Georgia recipe from a Jewish deli called Gottlieb's, and it has no flour in it. So it too, I mean, who would have thought? It's so applicable today because people are interested in gluten-free. It's got a little bit of cornstarch and a lot of cocoa. So you get a real chewy chocolate cookie. I love that cookie.
Yeah, that looks really delicious. Are these molasses?
They are. Grandma Hartman's molasses cookies. That's probably the most American cookie in the book, the old-fashioned molasses. That recipe came out of a Nashville story because it was served at the opening of Josephine Restaurant a few years back. And I remember the cookies and tracked down the young woman who was working there at the time, and it's her grandmother's recipe.
I love it. So many great stories in this book. I think you'll really enjoy reading it, and of course the cookies are going to be delicious too. You can meet Ann at a book signing and cookie tasting this Sunday at 2 p.m. at Parnassus Books. All the details plus this recipe are online at newschannel5.com. Ann, thanks so much.
Great to be here. Thank you.